All right, boys and girls, today we are going to be using a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and we really want to use the whole thing for your skull. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a little bit down, and we're going to make a little bit of a sad face. Aww. So go ahead and make a bit of a sad face. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take care of our horns right now. And we're going to go up and back, up and back. So we already have our horns out of the way. You are halfway there. Awesome! Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back here, and you can go ahead and bring this down a little bit, like that. And I'm actually going to come out a little bit. Do you see how I'm coming out? And now we're going to come back in like that. And we're going to come all the way down to the bottom of the page. All the way down to the bottom. And you're going to make just a little bit of like a little W. Like that. Perfection. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and get the eye sockets in. And you're actually going to go right next to where you were, right in that little part that came out. We're going to put our eye sockets right in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a few awesome details. Number one, up by the top of the skull, you can just kind of do sort of like a squiggly line here. And now what we're going to do is make kind of a squiggly, like all the way down here. Just because a lot of times when you see a real bone, it's going to look kind of jagged like that, and so that makes it look very realistic when you do that. That's kind of cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to add where the nose would be. And we're going to do that by starting right about here in between the eyeballs. And I want for you to go and come out. And then I want you to do the same thing on this side. Over there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the bones that would be attached here above an eye socket. So we're going to go up there. And you know it. Over there. Now what's kind of cool is that on a real skull, there's going to be this big old weird looking hole. And this is actually where the nasal cavity would be for the animal. You'll notice on skeletons even of human beings that where the nose is like a hole. There's like nothing there. That's because we have cartilage. If you touch your nose right now and go back and forth, you'll see that that's wiggly there on your nose. That's not a bone there. So after, when you just see a skeleton, that part's gone, and so then you kind of have a hole where their nose used to be. Now because it's a hole, we're going to darken it in. But we're actually going to do something really realistic, because you can actually on a skull see through this part. So we're going to begin doing a little bit of shading. And what I want for you to do is to just darken in this area right here. And again, the reason we're not darkening that is because if you look at a real skull, you're going to see that you can see right through there. In fact, if you look at this picture of a skull that I have right here, you can see right there. You see how you can see right through there? So we want ours to be realistic. Now, continuing on our journey, let's go back over here and do our eyes. Now, we're going to darken this in too. And then we're going to come over here and darken this in over here. So now we have the beginnings of our skull. It's looking really, really great. Now, we can go ahead and put in another little hairline from the skull and do one of these kind of a line right there. And soon and very soon we are going to begin to shade this thing. Now, right above the eyes, there's an indentation here sometimes. So I'd like for you just to kind of lightly do this. And we are almost to the point where we are going to begin to use this awesome pencil. Don't you love it? This is basically what's inside of a pencil, but without the wood on the outside. And we're going to begin to shade. And that's what's going to make this start to look really real. So here we go. First of all, we're going to come here and shade. Now notice what I'm doing, I'm just lightly just kind of going like this and shading this in. You can go a little bit like darker right here and then go lighter if you want to. So we can go darker here and then just kind of go lighter, 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 lighter. You could even take your finger and just kind of smear it a little bit, only on that one part, and that's going to make it look more shaded. Let's go ahead and do the same thing right here. We're going to just kind of do just a gentle little scribble right there along here. And then we're going to take our finger. It just feels kind of nice to see that kind of rub out there. We're doing it above our little weird squiggly line. Now we're going to come here along the edge of our bone. And we're just going to shade that in too. And you're going to notice that all of this shading is going to start to make it look more three-dimensional. Instead of making your drawing look super flat, now it's starting to look like it has dimension. And again, you can go ahead and take your finger and finish that up. Now we can come down here and do the same thing. We're even going to come and do it right in here. You can go ahead and shade that in here too. It's not really that you want to color in the whole thing. You just want to go along the edges and then just fill it in. That's really when the magic starts to happen, because all of a sudden it starts to look like, whoa, you're kind of professional. You can come along one side here and shade that in. You can come along here, along the top. You can even bring this part in a little bit darker. And I wish you could feel the way it is. It almost feels like I'm hardly touching the paper with this tool. Now when we get over here where the horns are actually attached to the body, we're going to come here and just add a little bit of details, because actually there used to be skin right there. And now all of that's gone and we have the horn here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have some fun really darkening in our horn. So you can just kind of darken it like that, and then just go ahead and take your finger and rubba, rubba, rubba. And come here and do like that. Come here and do like that. Now all this time Mr. Heatrix has been holding the camera, and I have a feeling that his arms are getting tired. Is that true, Mr. Heatrix?
It's okay.
Okay, he's willing. So once you have that done, you've pretty much got something that's pretty awesome. Okay? Go ahead and have fun working on that today.